Hey, this is PJ with CLK Supplies, and welcome to part one of a crash course on everything you need to know to understand, service, and rekey Small Format Interchangeable Core, SFIC A2 system. Now maybe you don't quite understand anything I just said, you just know SFIC. That's okay. I'm going to walk you step by step through the process. In this first video here, I'm going to be going over understanding the keys, understanding the cores, and understanding the locks. And in part two, I'm going to be going over how to calculate for the pinning chart, and then also actually pinning up the small format interchangeable cores. But before I do, I just want to talk about a few things. You know, small format interchangeable core is a very popular lock found in the commercial world today. Not only is it really versatile as far as keying goes, you can make very complex, very large systems, but it's also very easy to maintain, right? If someone were to quit in a hurry or there's some issue where you have to lock someone out, all you have to essentially do is pop out one of the old cores and put in a new core. You don't have to take the lock off the door, you don't have to disassemble it. It's really simple and easy that way. And I think that's why it's one of the most popular systems out there in the commercial locksmithing today. Now, one of the big things with small format interchangeable core is that I know it can be intimidating. It's the #1 service that we here at CLK have done for years, servicing and making systems for locksmiths. And I think it's really a two-part reason why. I think the first reason why is, you know, the upfront costs of getting everything you need to start pinning up the small format interchangeable cores is a little intimidating. It's like, man, I don't really buy all that equipment, especially with the second reason, which is it's complicated, at least from the outside, right? If you've never worked on them and you see all the little pins and you see people capping and you see calculations happening in order to pin them up and you see control keys and you see work keys, you know, it can just get really confusing. It can get kind of just overwhelming a little bit. And that's okay. I completely understand. At some point, we've all had to learn this and go through and understand and pin up cores and they don't work and trying to figure out why the control key doesn't work or why it doesn't work at all and which chamber we need to start with of ejecting it out and starting over. And it can really get frustrating. But through this two-part video series, I'm going to walk you through all of this, okay? And by the end of it, I want to give you the confidence you need to start servicing your customers with the small format interchangeable core system A2. You know, you never know what's going on in your business. You never really know what's going on in your life. And I think it's really important that when your phone's ringing, that you're able to take those calls, right? You don't want to have to show up to a business and you notice that there's small format interchangeable cores and you don't want to turn it away. You don't really want to replace the locks, right? You want to be able to get the job done. And that's the main reason I'm doing this two-part video series. So let's go ahead and let's dive in and let's go through understanding the keys, the locks, and the cores. Understanding the keys. You're always going to want to figure out what keyway you're going to be working with. And the easiest way to do that is to grab an existing key and to look towards the bottom of the head of the key. And you're going to find a little letter stamped right there. And that's going to tell you what the keyway is. It could say an A on it, it could say a K, a J, a TB, a WB, a WA. Could be a whole variety of different letters. And that's going to tell you what keyway you're going to need. So that way you can figure out if you have those on your van, if you need to order them, whatever you need to do there. The second thing is how to read the cuts. Okay? So when you look at a code handwritten, right, you know, we always read it from left to right. However, the cuts on the key are actually opposite of that. And the reason of that is because of the tip stop. If you look at this key here, you're going to see that there is not a shoulder for the key to stop on, right? There's not going to be a starting place there. And that's because the tip stop on these keys is on the very bottom tip of the key. And so as what happens is when you put the key in and it stops there, that's where that first number goes. So if you were going to be reading out a code that just said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, when you look at the key, it's going to be starting from right and going left. to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, now that's really important because when you pin up the cylinders, you need to be kind of paying attention to that. If you are right-handed, typically when you're pinning up the core, it's not that hard because the way you're reading it and the way you're looking at the core when it's in your right hand is somewhat simple to understand. But if you're left-handed, it can be kind of tricky, and it can be kind of tricky if you are used to pinning up other types of locks, because typically when you read the code, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's going to start at the shoulder and go to the tip of the key. Now, the next thing to understand is that all the keys are the same length, And as what I mean by that is that if you are working on a 6-pin core or a 7-pin core, the keys are going to be exactly the same. If you look at these two keys here, you'll see that one has 6 cuts on it and one has 7 cuts on it. But the key is actually the same length, right? Now, the same is not true, just the basic type of lock, right? A 6 and a 7-pin key like a SC1 or an SC4 are going to be different lengths. That is not the case with the small format interchangeable core. Both 6 and 7-pin keys are the same length. So you don't need to be worrying about stocking a 6 and a 7-pin key because they're the same. Understanding the locks. Now, when you're working with the small format interchangeable cores, you have to make sure the locks you're working with are prepped for it. Now, this isn't going to be a big deal if you go to an existing project, but if you're adding a lock, if you're adding a mortise cylinder, then you have to make sure it's prepped for it. And this is what it looks like here. Now, you cannot take a commercial lock that's made for like a normal Schlage cylinder and you can't convert it to an IC core. You have to make sure that when you purchase it, it's prepped for it. Now, you're going to be dealing with two types of tail pieces, okay? You're going to be dealing with a fixed, and then you're going to be dealing with a loose one. Now, this lever here is going to be just using a loose tail piece. All right, now as what you do, on the back of the core, you're going to see 2 holes. And as what you're going to do is you're going to take the 2 prongs on this tail piece and you're going to stick them on all the way in, okay, just like that. It's a nice snug fit. And then at that point, that's when you're going to insert the core into the lock. If you don't have the tail piece on there, it's not going to work because this tail piece is what's activating the parts inside the lock here. Now, depending on the lock, there's typically 2 types of tail pieces. There's a flat tail piece, and like this one, it has a curve in it, has a twist in it. Let me move so you can see right there. There you go. All right. Now, the other type of tail piece is going to be a fixed one. Like this deadbolt down in here has a fixed tail piece. Typically rim cylinders and mortise cylinders, they have the tail pieces already fixed inside there. So you just have to align the 2 little prongs inside this deadbolt here with the 2 holes on the back of this core right there. So I'm going to line them up here, get them nice and straight. Then I'm going to grab this core here. I'm going to get the control key in. I'm going to turn it so it's all the way in. And then I'm going to stick it in to this core just like that. Now I'm going to turn it back. I'm going to pull the key out just like that. And there you go. So that's how that core gets in there and stays in there. But you have to make sure that you have the 2 prongs on the fixed tail piece lined up so the core will go in. All right. And the same way to take it out, we're just going to stick the key in, the control key in. We're going to turn it. It's only going to turn just a little bit. And then we're just going to pull that core out. And that's how easy it is. And it's really nice to be able just to put a control key in and pull the core out instead of having to take this whole deadbolt off the door. Understanding the cores. Now you're either going to be dealing with a 6-pin or a 7-pin core. As you can imagine, the 7-pin is longer than the 6-pin. And sometimes this matters when it comes to how the lock is prepped. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Just like the keys, on the back of the cores, they're going to typically have the keyway stamped. So you're going to find a little L or a K or a TB. Now, not all manufacturers do this, but it is very common and it's very helpful. If it doesn't have one, really the only way to figure out what keyway it is by sticking in a bunch of keys and figuring it out. Now, these cores are really unique because if you see here that has this control bar. Now this control bar, when activated, is going to allow the cylinder to be locked into the lock or to be removed. And by inserting the control key, which I'll show you how to pin up later, how to calculate, when you put the control key in and you turn it, all it does is activate the little control bar. And that is how the cylinder stays in the lock or is removed from the lock. Now, when we go to rekey this lock, it's definitely different than probably what you're used to. On a typical cylinder, you're gonna pop off the back C-clip, you're gonna pull the plug out, and you're gonna pin it up, even when you master key. Where with the small format interchangeable core locks, as you can see here, there's a bunch of holes on the top, and there's even some little holes on the bottom. Now, all of the pins are gonna be put down through the top, and they're gonna be pushed down to the bottom, and then they're gonna be capped on the top. Now, if you're not used to this, I know it looks a little different, and I'll go over the tools and how to do it later. But it's really important to note that you're not going to be taking off the little C-clip on the backs and pulling that plug out. All right, so that is how the keys work, the cores work, and the locks work for the SFIC Small Format Interchangeable Core. We'll see you in part 2, where we go through how to do the math and how to key them.